Shalom, Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His Word. And family, I want to thank you so much for allowing me the privilege, the honor, and the opportunity to come before you, the royal family, and greet you with my favorite greeting of all time. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And family, once again, thank you for bringing this in with your brother, even though there's still judgment taking place all over this country right now. Now, family, I'm sure y'all remember the lesson from last week. So we're going to continue with the theme of making sure that our people keep the commandments, because it is warning time. I'm dead serious when I say that. It is warning time. The signals are out. The bells have been rung, however you want to quote it. The Most High is not playing, and He's making sure He's getting our attention. How do I know? How do I know? How can I be so firm? How can I be so confident in that statement? Well, first of all, since last week, since the lesson last week, have you heard about Andre Brown? Another black man fatally shot and killed, taken off the earth. Judgment. Judgment. And the Most High is going to continue to use Esau as a whipping rod. He's going to continue to do that. That's not going anywhere. But not only Esau, but also Israel. Now, I'm gonna name these two names. I do not care how you feel about it. This is what happened, and this is judgment. Are you familiar with the name Elijah LaFrance? If you're not familiar, this was a young Israelite prince who was attending a birthday party, and the Most High took his life. Now remember, last week, what did we go over? Who takes lives? Who is the one that kills? Who made it so evident in the scriptures? The Most High did. He said, I kill, I kill, I kill. When so many people want to go and blame the devil and blame Satan. No. The Most High said, I'm the one that killed. Me. I'm the one that's doing this. I'm the one that's causing this evil to happen. Me. There's no other God doing it with me. And He allowed that young prince life to be taken. Spare not. Cry aloud. Absolutely nobody is safe when they are breaking the commandments. And here you have that parent out there, and this little boy was at a birthday party. Now, the Most High already told us we are not to celebrate birthdays. Did He or did He not? For those of you who are not familiar, I want you to go and look at the lesson on birthdays. Oh, it's available for you right now in the library. Took his life. Then on top of that, an unnamed woman was also shot there as well. Then on top of that, Jacelyn Adams, a young 7-year-old girl, a 7-year-old Israelite princess, life was taken. The Most High is not sparing anybody, young or old, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. He's taking lives. The sirens are going. So, are you going to continue to live that lie that the Most High, He's an all-loving God? He would never allow anything like that to happen. Well, guess what? This is all just as of last week. After the lesson, I told you that judgment is here. And what's happening? Judgment, judgment, judgment. So what is that saying? We can't play. We cannot play around. The time for games are over. So that's why we are going to get into these scriptures here tonight. Now, before we begin, I have a video that I'm going to show you later. So this is a disclaimer at the beginning. Now, It's pretty gruesome. It's pretty grim. Oh, it is. But I'm telling you now to give you the opportunity to either not watch it when the time comes, or you can man up or woman up and watch it. But at least I gave you the disclaimer, and of course, I'll let you know when I'm getting ready to show it, okay? There is blood involved. I'll leave it at that. Now, I want everybody to please open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. And I would like for you to please go to Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. Many of you already know what this is, but I'm going to open this lesson with this here, and I'm sure I'll probably repeat it many times throughout this lesson. Israel, king, queen, prince, and princess, I want you to listen up, and I want you to listen good. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We just went over knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge. You rejected knowledge. You rejected keeping the commandments. I will also reject thee. That's the promise that the Most High makes. That I'm going to reject you. You reject me. You reject my commandments. I'm going to reject you. My people, not the whole world, not Esau, not Ishmael, not Moab, not Ammon. You. That thou shalt be no priest unto me. Oh, we're going to get into this here in a second. Seeing thou hast forgotten thy law of God, I will also forget thy children. So what was that stipulation? If you forget my laws, I'm going to forget you. I'm going to reject you. But what is the two prevalent words there? The first one being, you forgot my law. You forgot my law. You forgot my commandments. You forgot my commandments. I gave you commandments to keep all the way throughout your generations, and you forgot them. You put them behind you to follow after the other nations. So what I'm going to do is reject you. That's clear as day. This is probably the most prominent scripture that there is throughout the entire Bible, because it's so crystal clear. You forget me, I'm going to forget you. So the next one was knowledge, right? Knowledge. Now let's go ahead and have a little review, because we talked about this here last week. I want you to go to Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7. Now remember the term knowledge. What does knowledge mean? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. The idiot, the moron, the simpleton will refuse, despise, and ignore the instruction. What are those instructions? The laws. The laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High God gave us. And we rejected them, so he rejected us. So now, what's the key word there? Fear. So now, I want you to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I want you to remember fear. Okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 12, I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read this whole thing. Remember, keep knowledge and fear in your forefront. Here we go. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. So what is he saying? Remember the Creator in the days of your youth. That's why, parents, you are to teach. Well, parents, guardians as well. Older brothers, older sisters. You are to teach the young. You are to teach the young. Let's see. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So what is it saying here? This is saying in your younger years. Now we are in the time of evil. Okay? We're there now. So you can see this, verse 1, and see the days that we're living in. And what does it say? Teach the young. Teach them. While all these things are not happening right now, while all this chaos is not here, but unfortunately, we are there. Verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Now remember, we talked about that last week. The trembling, the fear of the Most High. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, meaning at the cock's crow. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, which is pestilence, and the desire shall fail. Because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. And the mourners go about the streets. You know what that is? Everything that's happening right now. All the police shootings, all these babies dying right now. The mourners are out in the streets. Why? Because we are not keeping the commandments. All the marching, all the rioting, all these things are happening right now as we speak. Prophecy, family, prophecy is happening. It's happening. Or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So let me stop there for a second. That's what happens when you die. Your body breaks down, it returns to dust, your spirit goes back to the Most High, and it waits for either regeneration or when you are going to come back in the end. It's all up to the Most High. Verse 8. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. So now this is an actual preacher. Now remember earlier when we talked about here, remember the preacher? Remember when the Most High said, you'll be no priest to me? You'll be no priest to me. But now this one right here that he's talking about is an actual priest to the Most High. And you're going to see the difference between the Sunday pastors or these fake, phony Israelite teachers who teach false doctrines. Read that again. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise. How are you wise? When you have wisdom. How do you obtain wisdom? Knowledge. How do you get that knowledge? Keep the commandments. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. He taught the people knowledge. He taught them the commandments. Yea, he gave good heed. He gave good heed. Warnings, warnings, warnings. Just like myself and other brothers out there who are living righteously and bringing these commandments to our people and telling you to keep them. He still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. Now you understand why I like reading from Proverbs so much. Not saying that only the book of Proverbs is the only Proverbs, but as you saw, the Most High gave you an entire book of Proverbs to bring out. That's why in all of my lessons, you'll usually notice that I'm going to the book of Proverbs. Let's continue. Verse 10, the preacher sought to find out acceptable words. What are those acceptable words? Those acceptable words are the words that come directly out of the scriptures and warns our people to keep the commandments. And the preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. Being in this truth, family. That's not just a saying. When you are in this truth means that you are keeping these commandments. You know who you are. You know your value. You know your worth. And most importantly, you know who our Father truly is. The words of the wise are as goads. Now, for those of you that don't know what goads are instruments that they used to take to line up cattle and keep cattle and the animals in a straight line, to pretty much keep them in a straight flock, meaning that you're leading them. Let me start again. The words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. From one shepherd. From one shepherd, you know exactly who that is. And it's following his way. The laws, statutes, and commandments. And who was the shepherd? The shepherd is Christ. Following the Father. Doing the Father's bidding. Doing the Father's will. So again, to all the idiots, for every last one of you simpleton, idiotic morons that love to send me your stupid emails and leave comments in the comment section talking about, oh, Jesus ain't real or whatever, you are an idiot. Seriously, you truly are, and I truly hope you repent from that nonsense. The only reason why, and I'm going to say it again, the only reason why people like that, they tend to stray away from Christ is because Christ ramped up the commandments. When Christ came here, what did he say in regards to other women? Right now, I'm talking to the fellas. I'm talking to the kings, and I'm talking to the princes. What did Christ say? He said, if you even look, use your eyes, look at another woman, or even think about another woman right here up in your head, that you committed adultery in your heart. When in the Old Testament, you actually had to commit the physical act. You see, Christ came into the picture and turned everything around. Christ came into the picture and was like, and when I say turn everything around, meaning he got rid of the BS. He got rid of the nonsense. He got rid of the garbage. He got rid of the false doctrines. Multiple wives. He got rid of all that and said, if you even look at another woman, just looking at her, you already committed adultery in your heart. And that's why so many of them brothers there and sisters, they can't stand Christ. Oh, Christ wasn't real and all that. You are a damn devil. You're a devil and you're a liar, and I hope you die. Next. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Did y'all really pick up on that? Let me read it again. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Meaning being spoken to, be warned. Of making many books. This is talking about the many books of the Bible. There is no end. No end. No end to any of these commandments, because they endureth forever. We'll get into that. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. So guess what? You have to study to show yourself approved. You have work to do, family. We have work to do. This walk is not easy. So many of you have reached out to me, and you know who you are. Many of you have reached out to me, and I tell you all the time, this walk is not an easy one. That's how you know this is not Christianity. Because Christianity tells you, oh, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to. Don't worry about it. All you got to do is just say, I'm sorry, white Jesus, forgive me, and go right back to doing your nonsense. That's not what Christianity teaches. Christianity don't teach you to keep these laws. Christianity tells you to go do whatever you want to. What's the term? used by that wicked man, Aleister Crowley. Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt. That's the term. If you don't know what that is, I want you to look up Aleister Crowley, do what thou wilt. And that's exactly what the Christian church teaches you. Let's continue. Verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. We read this last week. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, fear God, fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So I cannot make that any more plain than that. That's what it says, family. That's what it says. Everything that you do is going to be brought into the light. You have to stand in front that judgment seat of the Most High and give an account for everything that you have done. Everything that you thought, everything that you said, everything that you've done, everything that you thought you was going to get away with, you're not going to get away with, because the Most High said you have to stand in front of him. Now, let's go ahead and jump over to Romans chapter 14. Romans chapter 14, I want you to go down to verse 12. Now, I'm going to back up what I just said with the precept. Romans chapter 14, verse 12. So then every one of us shall give an account of himself to God. Isn't that what the Old Testament said too? Isn't that what the book of Ecclesiastes just said? So for those of you who want to continue to argue, well, I'm only going to read the Old Testament, I'm only going to read the Torah, the New Testament, it's a lie, whatever. No, it's not. It's saying the same thing. You see, people look for excuses. Excuse after excuse after excuse. So that they don't have to keep the commandments, just so they can cherry pick and they can wiggle their way into a more comfortable position for them to be in. But let me explain something to you. Living this life is not a comfortable life. You have everyone that wants to hate you when you bring these scriptures out. They can't stand you. They say, oh, you think you're better. Well, guess what? I am. I'm so much better that I'm striving for life while you are dancing with death. Because you're stupid. Because you're dumb. Now, I want you to go right now. So let's get into this here. I want you to go to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. Now, we about to get down now. Because now, this is where, as they say, the gloves are off now. Because now, we are going to get into these damn scriptures in regards to keeping the commandments and the penalties and the consequences of when you don't keep them. Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. Now, I got to stop for a second. What did that just say, family? The law that endureth forever. Now, how long is forever? You can't count how long forever is because it has no timeline. It means forever. It doesn't stop. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. So that means for any idiot that chooses to say out of their stupid mouth, the law is done away with. You, sir, ma'am, are an idiot. And I'm going to be saying that all throughout this lesson just so that it can stay. Because if you're one of those people, I am doing my best to offend you. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Okay? I'm going to read that last part one more time. All they that keep it shall come to life, But such as leave it shall die. Can I get any more plain, family? Seriously, can a more pure crystal message be given in regards to the commandments? No. I could shut the lesson down right now, but of course, you know I'm not going to do that. But I could, just based on that by itself. You must keep the commandments. There's no way around it. There are no excuses. You must keep the commandments. Now, I want you to go to John chapter 14, please. John chapter 14, and I want you to go down to verse 21. John chapter 14, verse 21. This is coming out of the mouth of Christ himself. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father. And I will love him and will manifest myself in him. That's why they hate Christ so much. That's why they hate Christ so much. Christ laid it down. Now, first of all, as you see right here, Christ is referencing Baruch and every other of his ancestors. If you love me, you keep the commandments. And guess what? If you love me and you keep my commandments, then the Most High will love you. That's who the Most High loves. He loves those of us that keep the commandments. We already learned this. Who does the Most High hate? He said, I hate sinners. I hate sinners. That is what it says. So, of course, you'll have the idiotic preacher, the idiotic Christian who will say, God hates the sin but loves the sinner. Nope. So now, what we're going to do is go ahead and get the... I want you to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 6. Ecclesiastes. We'll come back to John. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 6. Let's go ahead and get this. For the Most High hateth sinners. There it is. The Most High hates sinners and will repay vengeance and will repay vengeance. Vengeance unto the ungodly, the unrighteous, those who continue to sin, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. The mighty day of their punishment. So, family, let me ask you a question. If the Most High is an all-loving God that does not care what we do, that will forgive us for anything that we do, why does that scripture exist? Why is the Most High allowing these little kids, these little princes and princesses in Israel to be shot and killed? A lot of you parents, it's your fault. And do you know why? You're not teaching your children the commandments. You're not doing it. You are failing your children. You're failing them. If you don't care about yourself, you should at least care about your children. But that's also asinine because you are not setting the example for them. So you're going to put your children in fringes, but you're not going to wear any. You are going to eat pork, but not feed it to your kids. Do you see how stupid all of this becomes? Seriously. But you'll have the idiot, simpleton, moron that will argue against this. They will argue. They will straight up look in your face and argue with you about this. Seriously, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But then again, it is not for me to get. Okay? It is not for you to get either because you actually have some sense. Now, I want you to go now to Proverbs chapter 19. Here we go, right back to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19. And I want you to go down to verse 16. Let's see what this says. Watch this. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul. But he that despiseth his ways shall die. Now, does it sound like I'm repeating myself? I'm really not. I'm reading different scriptures. There were a couple that I read earlier that referenced last week as a review. I went ahead and marked those. I told you about those. These are different scriptures. And all these scriptures are saying the same thing. You got to keep the commandments. You got to keep the commandments. Old Testament, New Testament. New Testament, Old Testament. We must keep the commandments. This is not difficult. But of course, we will have the idiot, simpleton, moron, the sinner that will continue to argue with you, trying to have you die, trying to kill you, promoting your death, and tell you don't have to keep these commandments. Oh, goodness gracious. I really need one of those lapel mics. I'm getting tired of this one. Now, I want you to go to Proverbs chapter 7. So just go back some. Proverbs chapter 7. And I want you to go to start at verse 1. Watch this. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words. What words? And lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my commandments and live. So just as of last week, Andre Brown, Elijah LaFrance, Jacelyn Adams, an unnamed woman, and the father. Well, the father didn't die. He got shot. But just as of last week, look at the age range. The Most High is not sparing anybody. Everybody is going to catch it. Anybody can catch it. Do you see how that dividing line is now becoming, it's not even bold, it's right there. It's right there. It's like either you're on this side or you're on that side. Either you're going to keep my commandments and live, or you're going to disobey me and die. That's the reality, family. That is what the Most High is showing. It's called judgment. Now, go to Proverbs chapter 4, please. Wait, did I finish reading all that? No, I haven't. Sorry. My apologies. Verse 3, Proverbs chapter 7, verse 3. There's one more I wanted to read. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. So in other words, put it right here. Put it right here. Put it on your heart. Keep my commandments. Put my commandments on your heart and do it and keep it. That's what the Most High said. Those are his instructions to us. That is what our forefathers told us to do. There is no getting around this. I know I sound like a broken record, but good. So many of you listen to all that secular music any damn way and you leave it on repeat. So now I'm repeating myself over and over and over. Why? Because our forefathers did it. Whew, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, so now let's go to Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs chapter 4, and I'm going to read this whole thing. This whole thing here. Proverbs chapter 4, starting at verse 1. Watch this. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. How easy is this? For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words. Let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live. I did not read the same thing over and over. Verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Don't forget it. neither decline from my words of my mouth. Do not decline. Do not allow the words that come out of the mouth of the prophets, out of the mouth of the disciples, out of the mouth of Christ, out of the mouth of the Most High. Don't let them fall. Decline means to go down. Don't let them go down. Keep them resurrected right here in your heart, which is your mind. Forsake her not. Do not forsake the law. Do not forsake the law. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. What does preserve mean? It means to keep alive. Preserve it. And not only to keep alive, but to keep it looking beautiful. A preservation. Have you ever seen an ugly preservation? Absolutely not. I want you to think about some of the most delicate and tender artwork that they preserve. What does it mean? It means that it has somebody on it constantly, pricking the little dirt off of it. All the little things with the finest brush and just brushing it down and making sure that it's kept in the proper environment so it's not damaged by the sun or anything. Preservation. The very same thing that they'll do on some animal reservations and whatnot, they preserve the animals because the animals are going extinct. The animals are dying. So what do? They make a preservation for these animals to keep them alive. I'm going to read it one more time. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. The Lord will keep you alive. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Wisdom is the most important thing. That's the principal thing. It is the most important thing that you can do. Get wisdom, get wisdom, get wisdom. How? Read the scriptures. It's simple. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So you're reading the scriptures, you're going to the book for it. So now you're going to have to find somebody that's going to bring these scriptures out to you and do it correctly. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. No false doctrines, just scripture and able to back it up with precepts. Exalt her, verse 8. Exalt her, exalt these scriptures, exalt these laws, hold them up. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. You lift up the scriptures, you lift up the law, and you will be lifted up. How many of y'all knew that was in this? How many of you know that was in these damn scriptures? I'm going to read that one more time. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. You'll be honored. You will be honored when you embrace the law and keep it. Now, as we know, the Most High is not a liar. So that is what happens when you keep the commandments. Verse 9, she shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. Israel, look at this next part. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. A crown of glory. Why? We just went over this in the lesson of Israel. Remember who you are. A crown of glory. Why? Because you are a king, you are a queen, you are a prince, and you are a princess. A crown of glory. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. That is the promise. And do you see how important these scriptures are? Do you see how important it is to keep the law? When you don't keep the law, you take off your crown and you decline yourself. You degrade yourself when you don't do it. All you see around this entire planet where the Israelites are scattered are a disgraced nation of royalty. Why? Because we won't keep his commandments. Hear, O my son, listen to this. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. Didn't the Most High just take away these two little princes and princesses? Did he not take the life of that young Israelite princess last week? Are these scriptures real or not? What I'm saying here, is it or is it not true? Do you believe me now when I'm telling you that the Most High is bringing forth judgment? Do you believe me? And not just me, but also the other brothers, because many of us right now are on one accord. We have never had discussions about this, but yet we're all bringing out the same things. Do you get it? Do you understand, as the scriptures, as we've been reading here, the wisdom? Are you understanding? Are you getting it? Verse 11. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in the right paths. We're going to get into that here in just a bit. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. You'll find out why. Many of you already know why, but we'll find out. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Let her not go. Don't let go of this instruction. You were given the word. You were given instructions. Keep them. Keep her, for she is thy life. What else do you want, family? What else do you want? What else has to be said about this? You keep the commandments, your life will be kept. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. Verse 14, enter not into the path of the wicked. Enter not into the path of the wicked. What does that include? It includes Christianity. It includes the Christian church. It includes Islam. It includes Kemet. It includes Egyptology. It includes everything outside of the nation of Israel. It includes everything that's not in these laws. The Most High said, I gave my children the law. They are to keep it. They are to keep it. Nobody else. And anything else that you do outside of that law, you are in danger of death. Verse 14, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Boom. That includes false doctrine, false Israelite teachers. Again, those who happen to go along with that whole multiple wives theory and raping the women and the concubines and all that garbage, trash, you lustful damn devils. That includes them as well. And for every one of you that are involved in those camps, you stay, you deserve to die right along with them. I'm telling you now, if you're involved in those camps, you better get your ass out. Don't say I didn't warn you. Verse 15, avoid it. You see that? Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. I didn't say that. The Most High said it. I did not say that. The Most High said it. Get away from them damn evil ass camps. Get away from Christianity. Get away from all of these false religions that you have no business being a part of. Get away from it. Before somebody says, oh, well, That's Mike's opinion. Mike is saying all this. Mike is saying damn thing. Mike is reading the scriptures. Mike is reading exactly what the Father told us to do. If you continue in it, you're going to die and you deserve it. Verse 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And he's telling you the characteristics of these people. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. I'm going to read that again. For they sleep not. They sitting there just contemplating. They're thinking of ways to take you down. For they sleep not except they have done mischief. Then if they don't do mischief, they're not satisfied. If they don't do mischief, they are not satisfied. They can't even sleep. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Do you get it? Is Mike tripping? I'm talking about myself in the third person. Is Mike Malice tripping right now? Is that nigga smoking crack? Huh? Did he get that good? Did that nigga bump his head? Or am I reading the scriptures? I'm coming right out the scriptures, baby. I'm telling you what it says. All those false, phony ass teachers teaching that nonsense and garbage. When the Most High said, all you gotta do is keep my commandments, and all the commandments are right here. All the commandments right here in the book. Verse 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness. They devour wickedness. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Ooh. Woo! All I got to say is this. For those of you who remember the video, the response to the whole multiple wives, remember that video the week after? What were the, excuse me, let me say this correctly. How much violence was put towards us? Those of us that remember. Did I not bring that out? That's exactly why I told you I don't engage. Y'all remember that? And for those that don't remember, all you got to do is go back and look at the video. Hey, it's there for you to see. And I want you to go back and I want you to look at the live chat, because there's a selection right there for you to go look at the live chat and you'll see exactly what they did. It's right here. I'm reading it and I left it there on purpose so that you can go back and see it for yourself. Don't get mad at me. I wasn't the one that was doing that. They did it, not me. Verse 18, but the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Did y'all pick up on that? I'm going to read it one more time. But the path of the just, which means the righteous, is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. So you know what that means? It means that you are shining when you keep these commandments. You have an illumination about you. Again, you beautiful Illuminati people. The ones who are full of knowledge. The ones who are full of wisdom. What's going to happen? You are going to shine. You think that term just came out of nowhere? When the Most High said, y'all are going to shine. That's why we say it today. We talk like our Father. I'm shining right now. I'm shining. I'm illuminated. And guess what? I'm going to have people that's going to hate on me. Let them hate. Let them hate. Let them hate. Because remember what Christ said. Christ said, they hated me first. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Our big brother said it all. He said, them niggas hated me first. Them niggas hated me first. Them Pharisees hated, they couldn't stand me. And the Pharisees were Israelites. They couldn't stand me. Because I was bringing out all this truth. I'm bringing out these commandments and I'm telling our people, keep the commandments. And it happened to Christ first. And you saw what they did to him. They beat him beyond recognition. The worst death to ever take place on this planet. And what did he say? If they hate you, remember, they hated me first. So, you righteous Israelite, I'm going to tell you, shine on. Verse 19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. You're going to see what all this means here. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. They're dumb. They're stupid. They don't know. Right there. They have no idea what the hell they're stumbling upon because they don't desire wisdom and they are walking in darkness. Verse 20, my son, attend to my words. Pay attention to my words. Incline. Now you see before it was decline and now it's saying incline. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. In other words, listen up. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. Keep these commandments in front of you. And what does it mean to keep it in your eyes? It means to get in the scriptures and read. It means to get in the scriptures and read, not just wait until Friday. That means Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You ought to be in these scriptures and read it because you have to study to show yourself approved. Verse 22, for they are life, for they are life. For they are life. What's life? What's life? The commandments are life. For they are life unto those that find them. How do you find them? Because you got to go in and search for it. How do you go in and search for it? You open the book and read it. So simple. This is kindergarten level stuff. For they are life unto those that find them and health to all their flesh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Let me read that again. Let me read that one more time. For they are life unto those that find them and health to all their flesh. What does that mean? Oh, I'm about to dig in some answers right now. Woo! Some of you are about to get it right now. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means those who choose not to follow the dietary laws. That's just one example. Because as you know, our people, they hate them dietary laws. Oh, they can't stand it. Oh, what you mean? I can't eat pork meat? Oh, I ain't giving it my pork meat. No. Can't stand it. They hate it. And when you eat these abominable foods, for those of you that have not seen that lesson, the dietary laws, it's in the library. Go watch it. It talks about everything extensively. So when you eat these abominable foods, when you eat pork, which is one of the most disgusting, gross animals that you could ever eat, when you eat shrimp and lobster, as they call them, the waste, the roaches of the water, what happens to those people that choose to ingest that? Every possible disease that you can think about. Diabetes, high blood pressure, gout, so on and so on and so on. Why? Because our people don't like to listen. And the Most High allows all these sicknesses to plague our people. Why? Because we think we know better. When the Most High said, there's certain things I don't want you putting into your body. Here is a list of what you can eat, and here is the list of what you can't. Nah, nigga. Want my pork? Stupid. It's dumb. Verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Life again. Put away from thee froward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee. In other words, shut your mouth. Stop talking that nonsense. Stop talking that garbage. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear the lies of Christianity. Nobody wants to hear the BS of Islam. Nobody wants to accept that the damn Egyptians had us in slavery and was making our brothers wear skirts and makeup for those sodomites. Let thine eyes look right on and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder, ponder, ponder the path of thy feet and let all thy ways be established. We'll come back to this one in a second. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. We'll get to that one there too. Let's go back to verse 26. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. What does that mean? Remember we were talking about the stumbling in darkness? Remember I told you to keep that right here? Keep that in your mind? I want you to go right now to Psalms chapter 119. Psalms chapter 119. Go to verse 105, please. Psalms chapter 119. Go to 105. Listen. None. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. That's what it means. What is it? None. Thy word. What is the word? The commandments. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. You illuminated one. You are the shining light. That's you. It's you. It's you. You're that person. You are that person. That's supposed to help illuminate everyone else. But some of you just love to keep your mouth shut. Some of you just love to watch here on Friday, watch other camps, and keep all that information to yourself when the Most High said that you are the illuminated one. You're the light. Bring out the word. When you bring out the word, what happens? Incline. Incline, not a decline, incline. That you are honored and raised up. Because at that time, he can now start to use you. He can use you. You're the example. You are the queen that these little princesses are supposed to look up to in all your royalty and all your beauty and see you actually doing the right things. Seeing you not arguing, not out there being a damn ratchet hatchet. None of that. You are an example. You are a daughter of the Most High. You are a queen. Kings. When the world, when these other nations see you in your fringes, when these other nations see you in your proper garb, when they see that crown that illuminates on your head, when they see, first of all, let me talk to Judah, when they see us black men speaking with authority, when they see that we are actually keeping the commandments and recognizing that our Father and our King will be coming back, they shake in fear. But now we have our princes, and our princes need to look up to us. Not these punk ass rappers. Not these lying ass pastors. Us. Judah, us. You hear me, black man? Do you hear me, king? You hear what I'm telling you? They are supposed to be looking up to us. We are supposed to be the examples, the conductors of the Most High's us. Not only our princes, but our princesses, so they know exactly what to marry, so they know what to bring home, so that they know exactly what it takes to be a queen. And then our queens are to look up to us. That's a lot of responsibility, but it can be very easy if we keep the commandments. And that doesn't only go for Judah, that goes for Benjamin, that goes for Levi, that goes for Ephraim, that goes for all the tribes. Every last one of them. But you got to start somewhere. And how do you start? By keeping the commandments and living a life preserved, a life that will go a long way, so that you can be an example to generation after generation after generation after generation. And then when you die, your son will be generation after generation after generation. And then he's teaching his son generation after generation after generation, so on and so on and so on. But yet our people would just love to follow after these other nations. Now, I want you to go now to, let's talk about Matthew here for a second. I want you to go to Matthew. Matthew chapter 7 and go down to verse 13. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 13. Now remember, when we was reading there in Proverbs, remember it said the left and the right, remember that? We'll get it again. Here's what this means. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. He said many people going that way. It's called 2/3. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. 1/3. 2/3, that broad gate, versus 1/3, that narrow way. Now, did the Most High tell us about this here in the past? Or is this just New Testament? So, of course, you know what we got to do? We got to go to the book of Exodus. I want you to go, because we're going to get a precept. I want you to go to Exodus chapter 14 and go down to verse 21, please. Exodus chapter 14, verse 21. Watch this. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were departed. So if you don't know what this right here is when the Most High was bringing our family members, the children of Israel, out of Egypt and taking us there into the Red Sea. So what did he do? He caused a very strong wind to come from the east, and it divided the water. It divided the water. It divided the water, making what? A narrow path. Right here, right here. What's there? Water. Water on both sides. Watch. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on the left. Did or did we not just read that? So what happens when you go this way or when you go that way? You're gonna drown. You're gonna die. That is the destruction that the Most High is talking about. Stay on the narrow path where the light is shining. That is where you stay. You don't want to be a part of the broad perspective. You don't want to go through the broad gate. That line is so narrow. And remember when we talked about the goads earlier? That is what it's referencing. Yay, you got it. Now, with that being said, it's video time, family. Ooh, now again, I don't care what you think about me after this. I'm showing you this here for a reason, and sometimes it takes these type of examples to get to you. So without any further ado, I want you to remember that narrow path. All right? So without any further ado, here we go.
Na elfie to nie ma mowy, zamykanie drzwi, rozruch, to wszystko, panowie, to w sternisku nie... Co tu nie ma? No stop! Jestem kurwa w lesie, bo zaraz wylezie jak i jeleń. No kurwa, no skajcie. Dobra tam, chuj z kacznikiem tam. Tu nikt prawie nie jeździ. O! Kurwa! O cię pierdolę. Kurwa. Zapiłem się piwa, kurwa. Nie, chuj zapierdolił. Ale widziałeś? Sporę powiedziane. Kurwa. Ale powiedz, że nie sprzedana, nie?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know y'all think I'm so sadistic. I know y'all think I'm crazy. I don't give a damn. Why did I show that to you? Why? Why? What did the Most High say? You don't keep my commandments, you're gonna die. Now, as you saw, let's break that video down for a second. What happened at the beginning of the video? The conductor saw the deer way down there. And what did he do? He blew the horn and gave him a warning to try to get the deer off of the tracks. But the deer did not listen. The deer ignored the warning. Just like many of our people are doing today. The warning is going out. Our people are dying. Blood is being shed. Then what happened as it got closer? The conductor gave the warning again. again. And it was louder that time. And the deer still did not listen. And then what? Poof. And as you notice, that locomotive did not stop. It didn't budge. Went right through it. And that's exactly what's going to happen to our people when Christ and the angels come back, and they're coming for blood. They're coming for war. And the blood is going to run so high in the streets, all the way up to the horse's bridle. When I saw that, I said, I must share that. I have to. Now, I want you to go to 1 John. I want you to go to chapter 2 and go down to verse 4, please. 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. Watch this. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So for those of you that just love to say, I love the Most High, I love him, and you don't keep his commandments, you are a liar. And we all know what happens to liars. You go into the everlasting burning fire. Fire for the liar. There it is. Now, go down to verse 15, please, and we're going to wrap this up. Listen to this warning. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. Verse 17, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. The Most High just told you, the world is going to pass away. The world is going to pass away, but you won't if you keep his commandments. That's a hint and a half for that ass. He said, the world is going to pass away. What more do you want? Family? Family. You better wake up. Time for playing is over. No more. No more. Get your families right. Get yourself right. Teach, reach, and keep the commandments of the Most High God. Okay? Israel, I am so glad that we was able to go over this here again. I'm so glad that I was able to bring this truth out to you. I'm going to do it as long as the Most High allows me to, and I have breath in my body. I'm going to continue to bring this word out because the warning signs are going off. The warning signs. No more playing. No more playing. It's time to get serious. It's time to get yourself right. It's time to get your families right, because the Most High is coming. The King is coming. Christ is coming along with the angels. The time is now. Okay? And with that being said, Israel, I love you. I'm out.